Okay, good afternoon. I'm Assistant Sheriff Brett Zimmerman, and I'm here to brief you on additional details as we know them today about the officer-involved shooting that occurred on Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021. This is OIS number 1 for 2021, fatal number 1, and at the same time last year, we were at OIS number 2, and 0 of those were fatal at that time. The date, time, and type of call was February 3rd, 2021 at 11:59 a.m., and it was an attempt grand larceny. The location of the OIS was the 5900 block of Dean Martin Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89118, which is in the Spring Valley Area Command, and you can see the scene of the map to my left. Our involved officer is Officer Andrew Wynn, and I'll spell that. It's N-G-U-Y-E-N, pronounced Wynn. He is 34 years old and has been with LVMPD since 2018. In this incident, Officer Wynn was armed with a Glock Model 45 9mm handgun equipped with a tactical light. The investigation revealed he fired 9 rounds during the incident. Our suspect is a Marvon Payton Jr. Spelling is up there. He's a 27-year-old black male adult, 5 feet 11 tall, and weighs 170 pounds. His criminal history. Mr. Payton does have a criminal history of being violent with police officers, which include the following charges: attempt murder in North Las Vegas PD, battery on a protected person, North Las Vegas PD, attempt robbery of a firearm, North Las Vegas PD, and assault on a protected person, and all of those incidents were violence against the police. Our suspect's weapon, he was armed with a screwdriver. Mr. Payton's charges, had he survived the incident, was attempt murder on a protected person, attempt grand larceny of a firearm, and resisting a public officer with deadly weapon. Details of the OIS. On Wednesday, February 3rd, 2021, at approximately 11:59 a.m., the LVMPD Dispatch Center received an attempted grand larceny call at a gun range located at the 5900 block of Dean Martin Drive. The person reporting stated that a black male adult, later identified as Marvon Payton, had tried to steal a gun that was inside a customer's bag. The caller stated the employees would be standing by with Mr. Payton outside upon the officer's arrival. At approximately 12:27 p.m., dispatch was called again and advised that Mr. Payton was now becoming aggressive and had threatened the employees. Officer Wynn and his partner arrived in the parking lot of the business approximately 12:47 p.m. and attempted to contact Mr. Payton. Officer Wynn and his partner instructed Mr. Payton to stand in front of their patrol vehicle. Mr. Payton ignored those instructions and started to walk away while hiding his right hand in his jacket pocket. Officers attempted to grab Mr. Payton, but he pulled away and still refused to listen to the officers. Officers attempted to grab Mr. Payton by his arms once again to gain control of him. This time, Mr. Payton pulled away and produced a screwdriver from his pocket and violently attacked the officers. Mr. Payton made several overhand strikes with the screwdriver towards one of the officer's head and neck area. Mr. Payton was able to stab one officer during his violent attack. As the injured officer fell to the ground, Officer Wynn and 3 employees of the business discharged their firearms, striking Mr. Payton. Officers immediately summoned medical personnel, but Mr. Payton succumbed to his injuries at the scene. Through the course of the investigation, it was learned that Mr. Payton went into the gun range and walked around the main lobby, then proceeded to the concealed carry weapons classroom, CCW. The students were taking a break in the classroom when Mr. Payton entered the room and began rifling through a bag which contained a handgun that belonged to one of the students. The owner of the bag was able to prevent the gun from being stolen, and Mr. Payton was escorted out of the classroom at that time. An employee spoke to Mr. Payton for several minutes trying to figure out what he was doing in the gun range. A short time later, another employee called police to report the attempted grand larceny. 3 employees escorted Mr. Payton outside of the business and waited for officers to arrive. At this time, I will now show you surveillance video from the officer-involved shooting. This first video is actually from the classroom, and Mr. Payton is sitting, he's right here, wearing the black and yellow jacket, and a bag is underneath of one of the students. And again, they were on break at that time, so everybody was coming back into the classroom from the class break. This here is the actual surveillance video from the business, in which shows the officer's arrival and the actual OIS. And he's standing down here at the lower portion of the screen.